7 Hail Marys, cause these niggas out here lurking. Trigger happy be a pleasure. Left a lot of niggas jerking. Curry rice, chicken peas. In Iraq where it's smirkish. Rag top, Porsche Bentleys. Niggas die and meet they purpose. I quote 7 Hail Marys, cause these niggas out here lurking. Trigger happy be a pleasure. Left a lot of niggas jerking. Curry rice, chicken peas. In Iraq where it's smirkish. Rag top, Porsche Bentleys. Niggas die and meet they purpose. Forgiano's getting basic. Had to lead a foreign stock. Got a laser, fuck your grievance. And come stocky with this Glock. Lil bro be popping stoves, but he still a teeny bop. He be slipping through them knots. Throw the hammer, run from cops. 20,000 on my piece. Hustle trapping off the street. Niggas violent, but they running. Only showing that they weak. Used to hit them football tickets on the yard walking with me. BMF has been a model. Blow a 50, then re-eat. I fell in love with stunting. I can put this on repeat. Bad bitches, but they trash. Show me somebody that's neat. Lamborghini like a cheetah. Probably race it till it's peak. Girl Scout with the Trish. Probably died and fall asleep. Nike runners on my feet. Every step I take elite. Newport KV turn fag. Closest thing to a street. Turn my views to Miami. Tryna settle on the beach. Went cheap with the Prada. Ice load took a week.
When I was 15, I didn't get out till I was 22. A juvenile life, nigga, alright. Feel me?
What you get juvenile life for?
Man, kidnap, armed robbery, that type of shit, bro.
Tee Grizzley, his house in LA was burglarized and nearly $1 million in jewelry and cash was stolen. So they smashed the window, got entrance into his house, and according to the police report, nobody was home at the time of the break-in. There is an open investigation.
Homie called me like, said money on my head and all this and all that. We got your mama address. They took me my mama address. Bam.
What's the good old big deal with the good old people, man? It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe because it don't cost you nothing. And press that button. And if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail. What's the good old big deal with the good old people? It's Hot Topics with your boy Young and Hefe. And I'm here to deliver you another one like the other one. The recipient of Hot Topics, Baby Shooter out the Fire Trey Avalon. Y'all know Baby Shooter been trending these past 3 days, you know what I'm saying, since he came out with that paperwork pertaining to Te Grizzley. Now here, what we gonna speak about is some digging that Respectable Ranch went and done. You know, Respectable Ranch got that Pacer account. He can get that information, you know what I'm saying, looked into. And you know, we go from there. So, look like Baby Shooter, besides this Te Grizzley situation, he's incarcerated for 2 attempts, like a home invasion, like some robberies. Y'all gonna hear his rap sheet. You know what I'm saying? All the little BS he been getting into and stuff like that. So, what I come to find out from this video is the reason why he might have put Te Grizzley out there. So, I couldn't believe for the mind of me that Baby Shooter would go on any platform or speak over any recording monitor or jailhouse phone talking about a robbery that could potentially have his participation. I couldn't understand why would he even place the paperwork out there, because that would be like, you know, tampering with witness at a certain stage. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was trying to figure out the extent that Te Grizzley went with these police, because I understand, you know, you making a police report because at the end of the day, that jury is insured. And they going to want to see a police report that you going through the fine steps for them to insure what you lost, or if you just trying to play. But as street niggas, we know when to draw the line. Like, it ain't no pointing nothing out. It ain't no sharing no information. Ain't no swapping no phones. It ain't no, hey, look at this lineup, circle this person. Look, I'm not here for no lineup. I'm not here to prosecute nobody. Somebody stole my jewelry. It's videotape monitor or whatever the case may be. If y'all know who it is, if y'all catch the person, that's on y'all. I'm not going to prosecute nobody. I'm just trying to make sure I get paid for my assets. That's how the situation should have went. But, you know, like I said, I felt like Baby Shooter was also participating in stupidity for hopping on this internet and furthering everything that's been going on, but it might be a method to his madness. Like I said, I'm not in people's business and don't know what he got going on. So we about to drop this content, and you already know it's the Hef Weight and the Hef Effect. We gonna commentate.
Gangsters. We're gonna break down his court cases, and we're also gonna cover how Tee Grizzley would blame him for burglarizing his home. But let's dive into it. And for those that don't know who Shooter is, he would be a rapper from Los Angeles. And like we said, he's from the Fire Trey Avalon Gangsters. And he's previously made appearances on podcasts like No Jumper and Back on Fig. And as you heard Shooter say in the beginning, he would spend majority of his childhood incarcerated from the age of 15 to 22. He was arrested for armed robbery and a kidnapping, and they gave him juvenile life. And like we said, after doing 7 years, he would be released at the age of 22. And just a few months after being released after doing them 7 years, he would be arrested again. Him and 2 others were arrested on August 7th of 2018, and they were all 3 charged with 1 count of burglary. And it's alleged that on the day of August 7th of 2018, at around 10:30 in the morning, police were conducting an investigation for a burglary that happened. And while they were canvassing the area, they would see a vehicle with 3 passengers in it. And that's when they would pull over the vehicle and they would search it. And while officers were searching the vehicle, officers that were back at the scene of the crime would find evidence at the home that would link the 3 passengers to the burglary. And like we said, Shooter and 2 others would be charged with the crime. They would then all have to sit in the county jail and fight this case. But after 5 months, Shooter would take a plea deal on the burglary on January 16th of 2019. And on that same exact day, they would give him 2 years in state prison. And don't forget that he was only free for a couple months after doing 7 years. So they just gave him another 2 years after that. He was then released in the beginning of 2021, where he would stay out of trouble for a year and some change. But on October 24th of 2022, they would file a new case against Shooter. But as you can see at the bottom, the case type would be a misdemeanor. And he was arrested for brandishing a fake gun and assault on a person. And as you can see to the right, the offense date would be August 11th of 2022. But after sitting in the county jail for 1 month, on November 22nd of 2022, they would let him be released on his own recognizance. But just 2 months after being released, he would be arrested again on January 10th of 2023. And this time he was arrested for 1 count of being a felon in possession of a firearm, 1 count of carrying a loaded firearm in public, and 1 count of carrying a concealed weapon in a vehicle. And 2 months after being arrested, he would bail out for $95,000 on March 15th of 2023. And 2 days before they granted the bail, they would allow him to be released on his own recognizance on the misdemeanor case. So now at this point he was fighting 2 separate cases. 1 case was felon in possession of a firearm, and the other case, which was a misdemeanor, was assault on a person and brandishing a fake gun. But just 3 weeks after bailing out, Shooter would be arrested again on April 1st of 2023. And he was arrested again for having another gun. So they would charge him with felon in possession of a firearm, and the other count would be willfully discharging a firearm in a negligent manner. He would then have to sit in the county jail for about 7 months fighting this case, but on November 27th of 2023, he would bail out for $170,000. And they would also allow the bail from the other case to stand. So at this point, he was out on a $265,000 worth of bail, and he was fighting 3 separate cases. 1 misdemeanor, which was the assault and brandishing a fake gun. The second case was a gun case, and then the third case was another gun case and a shooting. And 2 months after bailing out, Shooter would have his first gun case dismissed. And they would dismiss both counts on January 30th of 2024.
Why is Airbnb paying me $20,000 a month? I'm gonna show you a new way to potentially make money.
So now at this point, he's fighting 2 cases. 1 which was the misdemeanor, and then the second case was the gun case and the shooting. But just 1 month after having that case dismissed, Shooter would be arrested again on February 16th of 2024. They would charge him with 1 count of premeditated attempted murder, but as you can see, it would have 3 enhancements on it. And the second count would be first-degree home invasion, and as you can see, that would also have enhancements on it. But if you look to the right, the offense date was November 18th of 2022, which was a whole 2 years before he was even arrested. They would then revoke his $170,000 bail, and he would have to sit in the county jail fighting 2 cases. The first case, which was a gun case and a shooting, and then this case, which was an attempted murder and a home invasion. And he's still currently fighting both of these cases. And as of recently, Shooter would go viral because he would drop the paperwork of Tee Grizzley telling on him. But before we break down the paperwork, let's dive into the situation. Tee Grizzley's house was burglarized on September 17th of 2022, where they would make out with $1 million worth of jewelry and cash. And according to the paperwork that Shooter posted, on September 28th of 2022, which would be a week after the burglary, detectives would meet up with Tee Grizzley. They would say that the thieves made off with $1 million in cash, jewelry, and multiple expensive handbags. But the day of the burglary, nobody happened to be at Tee Grizzley's house because that would be the day of his wedding. Detectives then gave Tee Grizzley a photo lineup of 6 individuals, He would then pick out Shooter from the photo lineup and say that he recognized them as one of the people that probably entered his home. And according to the paperwork, Tee Grizzley showed detectives a photo of the thieves inside of his house, and one of them happened to be wearing a black and white hoodie. And again, according to this paperwork, Tee Grizzley would show detectives a photo of Shooter's Instagram of him wearing the same exact sweater. Detectives would then show Tee Grizzley a photo of Shooter talking to 2 other people on FaceTime. And that's when Tee Grizzley would tell detectives that in that FaceTime call, he got Shooter to admit his role in the burglary. And this right here would be the FaceTime that they're talking about.
You ain't hear this from me, bro. You ain't hear this from me, all right? Like 4 or 5 in it, on that shit beside the other nigga, beside the nigga that I sent y'all that put the whole play together, that fuck with them niggas. All right, it's a nigga, it's my cousin from schoolyard, bro. Boom. Mexican niggas from great, and 2 niggas from home. They all get money together. They all fuck around, kicking around. You feel me? Boom. Them niggas that's press play on. You feel me? Yeah. Now them niggas, they jeweler. They want to fuck with her. They see all the face. They see the face. They're like, oh, exactly. We fuck with it. Whoa. Like.
And the crazy part is that nobody's been arrested for the burglary of Tee Grizzley yet, including Shooter. Because like we said, as of right now, Shooter would be in jail for 2 separate cases. One gun case and a shooting, and then the second case would be an attempted murder and a first-degree home invasion. But like we said, as you can see to the right, the offense date of the home invasion would be November 18th of 2022, and Tee Grizzley's home was robbed on September 17th of 2022, which would be 2 months apart. And I'm not a lawyer, so according to Google, Los Angeles County has 3 years to file a felony residential burglary case. And like we said, this happened on September 17th of 2022, and so far, no charge has been filed. So technically, if this is true, the statute of limitations is up. And also, like we said, if that's true according to Google, that means nobody went to jail behind the burglary of Tee Grizzley. And again, if what we've seen on Google is correct, then it makes sense why Shooter would post the paperwork now, which would be 3 years later after the statute of limitations. And according to Shooter, it's alleged that Tee Grizzley had money on his head around that time.
I'll make a long story short, nigga. My face going around, they say money on my head and all this and all that. The homie called me like, hey, these niggas wanna holler at you, whoop. They trying to say you did this. Before they make a move, they wanna whoop, you feel me? So I'm like, all right, what's up? So they put me on the line. They saying whoop and whoop, saying you did it, you feel me, like that. We got your mama address. They tell me my mama address, bam. They read me my mama address, you feel me? Whole time they like, oh, we don't know if you really did it, or they probably could be blaming it on you, you feel me? So this isn't that. So I'm like, all right, smooth, you feel me? So them calls all different times, so they called me back. I'm like, man, look, you ain't hear this from me, but whoa, that's when I said that, you feel me? But what I should have did was called in, you feel me? But a nigga went straight, you feel me? But if I didn't want to tell them, bro, I know what really happened. Them niggas had nothing to do with nothing, you feel me? If anything, I lied on them, bro, but that shit went straight. On the day, I went straight.
But like we said, as of right now, Shooter would be facing life in prison with the 2 cases that he's fighting. Like we said, one would be a gun case and a shooting, and the other would be an attempted murder and a home invasion. And on top of that, the second case would have a bunch of enhancements on it. And don't forget that this home invasion has nothing to do with Te Grizzley. But that right there is going to wrap up the story of Shooter from Fire Trey Avalon Gangsta.
There it is there. You heard it for your own ears, seen it with your own eyes. Now, for anybody that's not used to living in poverty or anywhere that's grain stricken, these charges and the time that baby Shooter have done in jail and things he's went to jail before will have the mind like, dang, you know, I see people in the comments, wow, West, dang, that boy, wow. This is just a part of gang banging. This is a part of gang banging. This is a part of you trying to go out and get the money. This is a part of you doing robberies too and further the gang, strike fearing people, all the stuff that they try to say in a courtroom. Now, everything not accurate, but you know, you kind of pretty much get the picture. Baby Shooter just got out in 2021 from doing juvenile life. You know what I'm saying? And you got to commend him after coming home after all that time. I must say he is somebody that be on this stuff, and you know, he's just trying to get to the bag and and make change as far as lifestyle. So, you know, they say he got out in 2021, was out 2022. I was seeing baby Shooter most of that time. And then in between that time, you know, I guess that's when he started catching more charges. So it's like, what I don't understand about flocking period is how you can flock and pass for 200,000, 300,000, $500,000, and had these type of numbers to the face and mess up the bag. Now, it's easy. I understand that people don't have no business acumen, don't know what they want to do with their life. You know, everything's a fad. Everything's car, clothes, fashion, the bad broads and stuff like that. That's where a lot of this money go to. And then you find yourself in a predicament where you got to hit another robbery. It's like you can splurge and have fun, but, bro, you got to invest. Because if you don't invest, you will be placed in a mess. Because it's not going to always go your way. It's not going to always be your way in these robberies and when you chasing money. So it looks like he's down right now for like 2 attempts. He kind of spoke on that as well. Said something about another rapper and like some more robberies and things like that. Looked like Whack 100 been in this corner trying to help him and things like that. I don't know if it's just with commissary or lawyer fees or whatever the case may be. But Baby Shooter also had a phone call just recently with 600. And I don't know if this was on the 600 phone call or was this on the Flacco phone call where they was asking him about the robberies, and he was telling how he hadn't been charged with the Te Grizzley situation and the cases that he is currently fighting in on now. He can be out as early as from a week from now or 2 weeks if things go in his favor. And hopefully things do go in his favor, because like I said, I don't want to see nobody, you know what I'm saying, locked behind that bar, but whoever deserved to be locked behind there, and and just trying to go get to the money and get a bag and then further your lights and live, whether it's off somebody else, that ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying, to hold somebody bound down to jail. Now, there is something else that I wanted to speak on pertaining to this situation. What else did I want to speak on pertaining to this Baby Shooter situation here? Oh, okay, so as Respectable Rants have pointed out, so it looked like this Te Grizzley robbery had happened in 2022, September 2022, right? And I guess by law that California have 3 years to file a burglary and or robbery on somebody. I don't know if a robbery is the same, but I'm pretty sure if not, probably 2 or 3 year time difference or something like that. They got 3 years to file. It's been 3 years this year on the 25th. So a lot of people are saying that's why Baby Shooter came out and dropped the paperwork. That's why he's not tripping. That's why he feel comfortable to be on these phone calls with Flacco on Whack 100 and speaking about how he got the drop and about himself doing it and things like that. Because yesterday Nature, and before I heard this, I couldn't understand. I'm like, man, the man basically telling on himself, and he said out his mouth that they still had a year to refile. But in layman terms, if they sticking to law, I guess that's something I'll have to look up as well. A burglary, they got 3 years to file, and it look like that they not filing. It look like they not filing. And if they not filing, well, I ain't gonna say if they not filing, I wouldn't have put the Te Grizzley situation out there. If they didn't file, yeah, I would have put the Te Grizzley situation out there if it was true, because he still did go down to the police station and or have a conversation with the detectives about Baby Shooter, show lineups, pointed lineup, if not circle lineup, and also shared information as far as like, oh yeah, I already know about the FaceTime call. That was one of my people talking to him, and he admitted to it. So, I dropped a segment earlier with Whack 100 talking about Te Grizzley. I wanted an apology. I don't know what the apology is about, but I guess the apology is maybe because he feel like he ain't tailed. Ain't nobody got charged for it, and ain't nobody gonna get charged for it. So that's just something, I wanted to continue and get through and furthermore understand for myself. And with that being said, we're going to conclude that there. It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe, because it don't cost you nothing. And press that button. And if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail.
Keeping it real and showing love, absolutely free. Still some of the hardest shit for a lot of you bitch ass niggas to do. So if you ain't a bitch ass nigga, let me see you keep it real and show me some love and share this post right here, cake ass nigga.